Hey guys, it's your girl Janae Barros, aka Naya Banks on Instagram. How you guys doing? We're back with another video. Today's video is going to be about how I first started traveling. It is going to be bits and pieces, so I'm going to take you guys back all the way to the beginning so you guys get a clear visual of how I first started and how I got to where I am today, traveling all the time. So let's just get straight into this video. So me and my ex-boyfriend broke up. I broke up with him in December 3rd of 2015, and then Adolfo, the guy I lost my virginity to, his birthday was December 7th, so I hit him up and I'm like, hey, happy birthday, and he was like, thank you, and he asked me if I wanted to go to Florida in January, and I thought, like, for some reason I thought he was kidding. I don't know why. It's because, like, me and him didn't talk for a really long time, like 2 years. I was with that guy for like 2 years, and then when we broke up we started talking again. So I was like, well, shit, I'm down. Like, what's the worst that could happen, you know? So I say yes. He bought me my flight there, and all I had to do was buy my flight back. So we go to Orlando, Florida in January of 2016, and he said that there was going to be some of his friends at the house staying with us, and I was like, yeah, that's cool. I don't care, I don't mind, because like this is my first time going out of Colorado. I didn't give a shit who was there. I'm just excited, but I had no idea what I was about to get myself into. We go, it's this gorgeous big house, and there was like 11 of us total in the house, and everyone was super dope, super chill. But word was that we had to wake up at 6 a.m. to go to this event. So I was like, God damn, 6 a.m. Whatever, okay, like, I'm down. So we get up and we go to this event, and I'm like, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing here? What is this? I'm asking Adolfo, you know, like, what is this? And he is just like, you just have to listen. So I'm just listening. It's these people that are successful in the company that are speaking, and it's a huge arena with thousands of people, and I didn't even understand what the hell they were saying, to be honest. I was like, okay, I'm like, I'm in Florida, I'm out of Colorado for my first time, whatever, you know. And they ended up booking Epcot Disney World for everybody that showed up to the event. I got to go to Epcot Disney World for free. And then after that, we ended up going to this guy's house that was super successful with the company Worldventures. And he was speaking, he was talking, like, hyping everyone up, and I'm excited as hell. I'm like, this is dope. Like, whatever this is, it's dope. I'm with it. So everyone's just asking me, like, are you ready to get started? Are you ready to get started? And I'm like, yeah, I don't know. Because I'm like still confused on what it is, you know? But I'm still hyped up. So when me and Adolfo get back to Colorado, he asked me like how I felt about everything. And I was like, yeah, this is lit. And mind you, he just had got started too. So like he knew the gist of it, but not everything. So he wasn't able to tell me like too much about it, but I was just like, I think this would work. Like, it's lit. There's a lot of people that have success stories coming from the company. So I signed up through him in Worldventures. So once I signed up, there was a group chat, and there was already going to be a next trip booked. And it was going to be a road trip. So in April of 2016, me, Adolfo, and a couple of the other people from the same house, and some newer people too, we went on this road trip. It was like 5 cars deep. So from Colorado, we went to New Mexico first. We picked up some people from there, and then we went to Arizona for a few days, which we had another seminar. That event, I started to pick up a little more on what the company was really all about. And then we go to LA, we stayed there for a couple days, and then from there we went to Las Vegas, and then back to Colorado. And at this point, when we get back to Colorado, I'm super on my shit. I'm hyped up, I'm motivated. I start signing people up. I signed up some of my cousins, some of my friends. I'm reading books. I'm listening to motivational speeches. I'm listening to TD Jakes, Jim Rohn, Eric Thomas. I'm hyped. So in July, I had my cousins and my friends that I had signed up with Worldventures with me. We all went to Miami with, again, Adolfo and a couple other the people that were in Worldventures as well. And we're all super excited. It's all of our first times ever going to Miami. And then when I get back to Colorado, this is the first time I worked at IHOP, because I worked at IHOP 2 separate times. But the first time I get back to work and my friend Kat is like, my niece is moving and she wants me to be her friend and get her into Worldventures with me because she sees the glow in me. She sees I'm traveling and I'm just excited all the time. So I'm like, okay, cool, I'm with it. So I meet Kat's niece, Ashley, and we become friends. She signs up with Worldventures. We start talking to people, meeting people, seeing who wants to sign up. But then we meet this guy in particular, and next thing I know, it was just became a party lifestyle instead of a business. I even ended up missing a trip to Texas, which one of my cousins had went, Adolfo went, and I'm just like, dang, like I was super sad because at that time I've never been to Texas. So I'm like wanting to go to all these different states and I'm missing out because I'm partying. And then I ended up getting fired from IHOP because I was showing up late. And Ashley ended up moving to Colorado Springs. So she was no longer in the town I was in. But one day Ashley calls me and she's all excited. She's like, yeah, I just got 2 jobs. And I was like, oh, that's dope. And she's like, yeah, I'm on my way to town. What are you doing? Where you at? And at the time, I was actually at a donation center donating plasma to get money. I was super embarrassed of that's like how I had to get my money. So I just told her I was at the store. So she was like, okay, I'm gonna pull up on you and we could hang out for a bit. If I wanted to come with her, I could go to Denver. And I was like, okay, cool. Well, what are you doing? And she was like, I'm a dancer. I was like, oh, okay, cool. That's dope. So I did end up going with her. It only lasted like 3 days or something like that. And then she totally like switched on me because she wanted to leave with some customers from the club and I wasn't down for that. I was like, no way, I want to leave with them. So she got mad at me and she told me that she's gonna take off without me. And I'm like, you can't take off without me. Like, you're the one that brought me here, you know? So she's like, just get your stuff and figure it out. So I was like, okay. So I got my stuff out of her car and she left. She left me. So at this point, I'm like, I'm not gonna be her friend no more. So I go to a hotel and the next day I'm like, how in the hell am I gonna get 2 hours back to town? I'm in Denver and I'm 2 hours away from where I lived at that time. So how am I gonna get back? So I hit up a friend of mine, Alexandra. She was always back and forth from cities. So I hit her up and I'm like, hey, you in Denver? I got stranded out here. I got left. So she was like, yeah, like, what's up? Where you at? And she picks me up with quickness. And she lets me like stay at her house for a couple days because she was gonna go back to town and I could work more days. So I was like, all right, bet, cool. It just all worked out. And she asked me if I had talked to this other girl that we were both friends with from town. And I was like, actually I have. I've been actually chilling with her lately. And she's like, oh, okay, cool. And I get back to town and I asked my friend that we were talking about if she wanted to start dancing with me. At first she wasn't down, but then she was like, you know what? Fuck it, let's do it. So we started going to Denver all the time and we ended up meeting this other girl. So it was all 3 of us. This was in 2017 and this went on for 1.5 years. And I was also a bartender during this time. And then us 3 ended up separating. So I kept bartending for a little bit and then I quit that job. I ended up working at Loaf and Jug and IHOP, and this was in 2018. They had a whole new management, whatever, so they hired me back. And watched my last video, Blood Isn't Thicker Than Water, to see what happened in 2019. I had got off probation, and I was already talking to this guy off of Instagram for a while. He lived in Miami, so once I got off probation, he was like, yo, now we can meet. And I was like, yeah, I'm down. So I get a flight to Miami, July 2020. This is the first time I ever flew by myself. And then my friend from town, he lived in LA, and he was like, yo, you should come to LA for 2 weeks. And I was like, okay, bet, I'm down. So I go to LA, I meet a lot of people. I meet Rari for the first time. He was my first verified person that I've ever met in person. And I just started collabing with all these people. It was super fun. I ended up moving to LA, and it just kept going from there. It kind of just like never stopped. It was like a snowball effect. I give Worldventures a lot of credit because even though it didn't work out with that company, it still gave me an opportunity to get out of Colorado, and I thank Adolfo a lot because he's the one that got me to see the vision. And I really feel like if it wasn't for him and Worldventures, I wouldn't be where I am today because I wouldn't have the knowledge I know today. So that's pretty much how I started traveling and then went back to traveling, and now it's just a life. It's definitely a lifestyle now. Lesson learned: don't get too much partying. So I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful for all the opportunities I got. I hope this helps you guys with a little bit of understanding of how I first started traveling and then went with the company and then to doing it myself. So thank you guys for watching. Until next time, bye guys.